Hey everyone, before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss stories like this. When my wife Aurelia told me she was going on a reunion trip with her college friends, I didn't think much of it. She'd been distant for months, but I chalked it up to work stress. It's just a few days in Chicago, she said, packing her suitcase. You trust me, right? That question should have been my first red flag. People with nothing to hide don't ask for reassurance. I smiled and said, "Of course." But something about her excitement felt off. The way she kept checking her phone, the secretive smiles, the new lingerie she quietly slipped into her bag. I noticed everything. I just didn't speak. That night, after she fell asleep, I checked her messages. Normally, I wouldn't, but my instinct screamed something was wrong. What I found made my stomach turn. A long thread with her ex, Darian, the man she told me was just a friend. The texts weren't playful. They were explicit. Can't wait to see you again. Same hotel, he wrote. Same room, she replied. My hands trembled, but I didn't confront her. I just stared at the screen until I went numb. 11 years of marriage, and she was planning to betray me under the guise of nostalgia. But instead of rage, something colder settled inside me. Clarity. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. She kissed my cheek. "Don't wait up for me," she said. "Okay," I replied, smiling. "Have fun, babe." She froze for a split second, maybe because I was too calm, then left, suitcase rolling down the driveway, humming a tune. As soon as her car disappeared, I called an old friend, a private investigator named Cale. "Follow her," I said. "Don't interfere. Just watch." He didn't ask questions. He'd seen enough broken marriages to know the patterns. Within hours, he sent photos. Aurelia checked into the hotel alone at first, then met Darian at the bar. My pulse didn't rise. I had a plan. That evening, I booked a last-minute flight to Chicago. I wasn't going to beg or confront her. I wanted the truth, in her own words. I checked into the same hotel under a different name and told Cale to keep an eye on them. Around 8 p.m., he texted, "They're heading up to room 812. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. I rode the elevator up and stood outside the room. I could hear soft laughter. Hers. Once my favorite sound, now hollow. I took a deep breath, knocked twice, and waited. The door opened. Darian stood there, shirt half buttoned, surprise written all over his face. Behind him, Aurelia froze. "Silas, what are you doing here?" she whispered. I smiled, steady. "Business trip," I said simply. "Didn't expect to run into you, too." Darian opened his mouth, but I raised a hand. "Relax. I'm not here to fight," I said, my voice low and measured. I just came to say 2 words. Aurelia's eyes darted nervously, lips trembling. "What 2 words?" she asked, voice cracking. I looked at her, really looked, and whispered, "We're done." Those 2 words hit harder than any argument ever could. She stumbled forward, eyes wide, tears forming. "Silas, please wait. It's not what it looks like." "No," I said softly. "It's exactly what it looks like." Darian tried to intervene, puffing his chest out. "Hey, man, she's not happy with you." "All right, let her go." I turned to him slowly, calm as ever. "Darian, you can keep her. Just make sure you can afford her." He frowned. "What does that mean?" I handed Aurelia an envelope. "Divorce papers. Signed. You just need to add yours." Then I looked at him. "Oh, and you might want to check the company email tomorrow. HR doesn't usually like it when employees sleep with a client's wife." Darian's face went pale. "Wait, you're the client?" I nodded. "The biggest one your firm has." Aurelia looked like she might faint. "Silas, please don't do this here," she whispered. "You did this here," I said calmly. "You chose him. You chose this room. You chose this ending." I turned to leave, but she grabbed my wrist, sobbing. "Silas, I made a mistake." I looked her in the eye. "No, Aurelia, you made a choice. I'm just finishing it." Then I walked out, leaving her standing there, half-dressed, humiliated, broken. On the flight home, I didn't cry. I didn't even think. I just felt free. Years of subtle disrespect, manipulation, and guilt-tripping evaporated in those two calm words. When I landed, I blocked her number, called my lawyer, and instructed him to file immediately. By the next morning, news had spread. Darien was fired, his reputation ruined. Aurelia called from unknown numbers, leaving tearful voicemails. I didn't respond. I had already said everything that needed to be said. Weeks later, I ran into one of her friends at a cafe. She told me Aurelia wasn't doing well, moved back with her parents, jobless, ashamed, barely eating. I nodded and said nothing. Some people only realize your value once they lose your peace, not your presence. She asked if I still loved Aurelia. I smiled faintly. Love doesn't survive betrayal, I said. But lessons do. Months passed. Life became quieter, simpler. I focused on myself, my work, my peace. One afternoon, a message arrived from an unknown number. I still can't forget the way you looked at me that night. I didn't reply. That's the thing about calm revenge. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rage. It ends everything quietly, finally. My wife planned to sleep with her ex on a trip, but my two calm words made her freeze. And in that silence, she finally heard the truth. You never win when you betray the person who stayed calm. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more real stories to life. The next chapter is